morning. Yes, so Joanne Parker from Joanne Parker Communications. And today I want to talk to you about using PR to promote your business. And going to talk about why you should do this. And hopefully by the end of this presentation, I want you all to go away knowing that you can at least achieve one story in the press and that there should be no excuses. So what is PR? So if we think about it in terms of reputation management, that's probably the easiest place to start. So think about what people say about you when you're not in the room. That is your reputation. And you're going to have a reputation whether you manage it or not. So why not manage it? That's the key thing first and foremost, is that if you take control of your reputation, then obviously you can decide what people are saying about you. You can control that narrative. When we think about public relations, we often think about media relations, and media relations are certainly at the heart of it. So I'm going to come on to talk about what media relation is and how we can achieve that for our businesses. But PR, in a sense, is anything that is free publicity. So it's also things like events, when you put on an event and generate publicity for your business. It's also things like corporate social responsibility. So what do I mean by that? How we treat ourselves as an employer, how we treat our staff, how we treat the local community. What are we doing to contribute to our community? Do we do charitable works? Is our company ethical? Do we have green policies? That kind of thing. So are we contributing to the wider community? Also think about it in terms of crisis management. And a crisis, when you're certainly one person in a business, could be anything. It could be being poorly for a day and not being able to turn up to work. It could be more significant than that. It could be a longer term illness when you can't work for several months. It could be in business, a flood or a fire, or getting some bad publicity. It could be any of those things. And the thing is to take charge of that situation and be able to turn it round. So all these things have an impact on our reputation, either in a very positive way, or they have the ability to be negative as well. So I'm going to focus for a little bit on what are the benefits of PR for our business. So the key benefit of public relations is that it basically involves no cost other than your time. So if you think about ads, obviously that they cost time, going networking costs time and money. So PR is one of the few things in life that you can generate that is actually gives you a boost to your business, increases your visibility, but doesn't have any direct cost. It's also brilliant for brand recognition. It builds your reputation, builds recognition of your brand. So as people are reading about you in the papers or online, it helps them to recognize what you stand for. And it builds trust as well. So I know people can be skeptical about, oh, you don't believe what you read in the papers, but that's not actually true. Most people, if you do look at the statistics, do actually believe what a third party has said about a brand. So whether it's on social media or in the traditional media, if a third party is talking about your business, then it is usually believed more than if you're saying things just about yourself. So it builds trust, it builds your reputation. And as I was talking about that CSR piece as well, it also connects you to the wider world. So it can position you as having an interest in or taking responsibility for, say, contributing to climate change, reduction in climate change, reducing plastic, looking at your impact in terms of travel or carbon footprint. So it helps to position you and what you stand for as a brand in terms of your values. So with all those benefits, why isn't it that more people in business are not taking advantage of this great free gift of PR? Well, I find that a lot of people will say things like, it's not for me, I'm only a small business or a one-person band. You know, I can't get publicity. Who's going to be interested in me? Or I don't have an interesting story. Nobody will want to know about my little brand, my little company. Or I don't know who to contact. How would I talk to a journalist? They can appear scary, they can appear aloof. So kind of like, how do I go about doing that? And the other thing that people often think of, and this has been hyped up, I think, on TV programs a lot, is that the media are going to be bad to us. They're going to take what we say out of context and use it against us. Well, the chances are that's not going to happen. If you're a key celebrity or a politician, then yes, that might happen to you because you're talking to people who really want to kind of prod and probe you. But the kind of media attention that you're going to get is really helpful to people. So if you think about your local paper, your local radio station, even regional TV and radio, they're keen to fill their agendas with stories. They're looking for content, and you're doing them a favor by coming along and talking to them. So they're going to do everything they can to make their experience pleasant for you. They're going to make you as relaxed as possible, and they're not there to catch you out. They want to actually work with you and develop a relationship with you. And that has great benefits for working in both directions. So with that in mind, then, how do we actually get started? So thing to think about is what type of story can you tell in the press? And the thing is, there are stories for all occasions. So I always say start small. So think about your town, your village, your region. What have you got in terms of media on the doorstep? Most people still have a local newspaper, although I know they are not as popular as they once were. Most people still have a local radio station. So think about what you could contribute locally. So when you're thinking about local media, you want to think of yourself as local person does good. So I'm from Driffield or Beverley in the East Riding. So I would look at my Driffield paper and say, okay, what can I contribute to that? So I might have a story about how I've helped a local business. I might have a story about how I can help local businesses by putting on events, etc. It could be that I've written a book and I can talk about that. Local author does good. So local person, local newspaper. If you're thinking about regional press, then you need to have a regional story, something that's going to appeal to the whole of Yorkshire, for example, for the Yorkshire Post. Or if I really wanted to get a national story, then clearly it has to be of national importance. But there are lots of other media out there. It doesn't just have to be your local paper. There are industry media. So I might get something in a PR weekly or something like that for my industry. Or you might target a business publication in your area. Those are the traditional kind of media. But if you look online, there's 1,001 media opportunities. There's literally a publication for everything that you could think about. So think about your target audience. What kind of things do they read? Where are they hanging out? What podcasts are they listening to? What are they reading? Where do they go for their information? And match your aspirations and your story to the media and where your community is to be found. So spotting a story in terms of your business is easy in the sense of think of what does the word news mean? It says new. So what's new in your business? What have you done recently? What's different about something that you're doing? Have you introduced a new product or service? Have you got a new client? Have you recently done something for charity? What is it that's unusual? Start with those things. How do you build a relationship with the media? Well, there are plenty of opportunities. You can pick up the phone and simply talk to them. They're not scary. Like I said, they're looking for content. So don't feel afraid to actually do that. But there are also things that we can use, such as this hashtag journo request. If you go to Twitter, as was, or X as it now is, you'll often find journalists actually crying out for stories. So look out for opportunities such as that, where you can then pitch to them a story. As I said, they're looking to fill their content. So it's important that you can step up and say, hey, look at me, I can do that. If you're not quoting, if you're not putting your story forward, then the next person in the room will be. And as we were talking about earlier in the meeting, if you can stand up and put a point of view across, then it's worth, people will remember you, whether it's the right opinion or the wrong opinion. If you have an opinion, then people are going to take notice of you. So don't be afraid to actually put yourself out there and speak up. So that is a whistle-stop tour of how to use PR and the benefits of doing so for your business. I hope that you take away from this that PR is accessible for all of us. It's not something that's just for the big boys or somebody who's more confident than yourself. Take the first step, contact your local paper or think about a story you could put in your local media. And have a go. At the end of the day, you've absolutely nothing to lose. I've got a free guide that's available called 6 Ways to Hit the Headlines. And if you drop me an email at hello@joanneparkercommunications.com, I'll happily send you that so that you can go forth and create some free publicity for your business. That's Joanne Parker, Joanne Parker Communications.